Hello friends! Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. I'm Erin, and for today's video we are going to be talking about Easter eggs that are in Disney movies. Now, if you've seen some of my other movies, you know I really like Disney a lot, and I always think that Easter eggs that they put in the movies are pretty darn cool. If you don't know what an Easter egg is, I'm not talking about the eggs that you dye around Easter time. They're like little hidden things that are put into movies. A lot of times with animated movies, they put in these little Easter egg things. And it's just kind of like something that the people who make the movie have fun with, and they kind of put them in there, and then people find them, and thus it's like an Easter egg hunt. That's why they're called Easter eggs. So with Disney movies, there are a ton of Easter eggs in almost every one of them. There are even more Easter eggs in Pixar films, and I'll kind of go over that in just a second. But the first movie I want to talk about is Moana. So one of the first Easter eggs that can be found in Moana is actually from The Little Mermaid. And like I said, these Easter eggs, sometimes you kind of have to like slow it down and look, or go back and look like 2 or 3 times. And the Easter egg that's from The Little Mermaid that's in Moana is flounder. So when Maui uses his magic to take Moana to like the flat 2D land, so another Easter egg that can be found in Moana is actually from Frozen. And that's when Maui is kind of like transforming into all these different animals. If you pay attention, you'll see that he actually changes into Sven from Frozen, which is the little reindeer guy. Sticking with the Frozen theme, if you pay close enough attention, Olaf kind of makes an appearance too. And now one of the co-directors of Moana actually pointed out that both Sven and Olaf are in the movie. I am not going to show you where you can find Olaf. It's a little tricky, and I will give you the hint that it is Olaf, but it's not Olaf in snowman form. So kind of keep your eyes peeled for something that resembles or could be a part of Olaf. And it definitely took me a long time to figure it out, but I kind of cheated and Googled, and once I saw it, it was pretty funny. So like I said, Pixar tends to have a lot of Easter eggs that play to other movies that they've done. And one of the other ones that's in Moana is I'm not going to say this right, I think they're called Kakamora bears. They're the little bad guys that kind of look like coconuts that go after Moana and Maui on the boat. If you pay attention to them, there's one that looks like Baymax from Big Hero 6. The next couple Easter eggs kind of go around the character of Tamatoa, which is that evil little hermit crab guy. When Maui and Moana are down in Tamatoa's lair and you see all his treasures, if you pay close enough attention, you'll see Genie's lamp from Aladdin. Now the next one is an Easter egg, but it's not really one where you see the other character, and it's kind of a spoof of Tamatoa talking about Sebastian the Crab from The Little Mermaid. So if you pay attention to the end credits, Tamatoa's laying on his back, and he's having a hard time trying to get back up. And he says, "Can we be real? If my name was Sebastian and I had a cool Jamaican accent, you'd totally help me up." So that's another little Easter egg toward The Little Mermaid. Okay, so moving on from Moana, we are going on to one of my other favorite Disney movies that just came out last year, and that is Coco. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. It's a little bit different than most Disney movies, but I really enjoyed it, and I think that most people who are Disney fans obviously are going to enjoy it too. Okay, so Coco again is a Pixar animated film. So in every Pixar film that there is, the Pizza Planet truck from the first Toy Story movie is always spotted somewhere. Coco is no exception. You can see the Pizza Planet truck going by toward the beginning of the movie when Miguel is opening the windows. The Pizza Planet truck goes driving by. So if you're paying attention in Coco as well, Nemo makes an appearance. Now, Coco kind of stems around the whole Day of the Dead celebration that people of Now, Coco stems around the whole Day of the Dead celebration, which is often done in Mexico, and Nemo makes an appearance as an El Brije. Now, I probably butchered how you say that, and I apologize if I did, but it's spelled Alebrije. And if my Spanish, which was never very good in Spanish class, serves me, well, I think I said it right, but I'm not sure. And like I said, if I didn't, sorry. Pretty much what that is it is an animal form of a spirit guide that sticks with you when you go into the afterlife. Or at least in Coco it does. Now, my understanding is that this is a fairly new tradition to Day of the Dead. They haven't always had these little animal figurines that are supposedly like your spirit guide. So Coco kind of played on that as well. And there is a scene where there's a whole table of somebody selling these little figurines that can be your spirit guide, and they're really pretty. And if you pay close enough attention, there's definitely a little figurine that looks like Nemo. Or I suppose it could be Marlin, but since it's Finding Nemo, we'll say it's Nemo. So the Toy Story characters of Woody and Buzz, as well as the Monsters, Inc. characters of Mike and Sully, can be found in Coco as well as an Easter egg. If you're paying attention when Miguel runs by a whole big thing of piñatas, you'll see the 4 characters in piñata form. So the next is something else that often shows up in most Pixar films, and that is the Luxo ball. So what the Luxo ball is it's a blue, yellow, and red ball. So it's like got a blue stripe and yellow and then a red star on it, and I'll of course put a picture of it. And it ends up in most Pixar films, and Coco's no exception to this. And the reason behind it is Luxo Jr. was the first Pixar short that came out. So they kind of try to include it in every movie that they do. The Luxo ball in Coco can be found when Miguel and Hector go to the rehearsal site for the Sunrise concert that they have every year after the Day of the Dead in the other side where you go when you pass. And you can find the Luxo ball on a table as they're walking around where that rehearsal is. So the next thing is an Easter egg that if you're not from Mexican heritage or you're not from Mexico, you probably don't know much about, but I figured I'd point it out anyway because I thought it was pretty cool, even though I had no idea who this person was. And that is El Santo. And El Santo was a Mexican luchador who is very famous in Mexico. If you don't know what a luchador is, it is essentially a wrestler, think WWE. And his fame actually went beyond just wrestling. He made movies and he became a massive star in Mexico. So he was never seen out in public without his mask on. And true to the form in the movie, you can see him after he has passed on with his mask on. So it's kind of fitting because even in death, he doesn't want people to see his true face. So the next and final Easter egg that I had found from Coco is from The Incredibles. So when Miguel and Hector are making their way to the Land of the Dead talent show, if you pay attention, they walk by a poster that's advertising The Incredibles. Now, Pixar also tends to do this when they are coming out with a movie. So like, for instance, Coco came out in the fall of 2017. I think it came out in November, kind of around Thanksgiving time. I could be wrong, it might have been a little bit earlier. Anyway, if you pay attention in Pixar films, a lot of times they'll advertise movies that they're going to be having coming up. So it's fitting that the Incredibles poster is in here because right around now, in fact, I think it came out this weekend, The Incredibles 2 came out. And that's kind of how you can get hints of what kind of movies Pixar will be making if you can catch these movie poster Easter eggs in the various Pixar movies that come out. So moving on with another Pixar film, we're going on to WALL-E, which again, one of my favorite Disney movies. I tend to like Disney movies that are a little bit different, and I loved WALL-E. In fact, I have a ferret named Wally. Not like Wall-E, but he was kind of a namesake of both WALL-E from the movie WALL-E and then Walt from Breaking Bad. So, of course, like I said, the Pizza Planet truck can be found in every Disney Pixar movie that's come out since the original Toy Story movie. And this is no exception. So when Eva comes to planet Earth trying to find her directive, and if you pay attention as she's scanning, she actually scans over the Pizza Planet truck, which is in the rubble that's left behind from essentially humans ruining Earth. Another character from Toy Story that can be found in WALL-E is Hammy, and if you pay attention when WALL-E is going through his shelves in the garbage truck that he lives in, you can see a figurine of Hammy on one of those shelves. And then if you pay attention, there were orange caution cones that were in this Toy Story movie as well, and they can be seen throughout the movie in WALL-E. Alright, so the next one is another Pixar film, and that is Cars. So there are a ton of Easter eggs in this movie, and I probably am not going to hit all of them. That's how many there are. So the first Easter egg that can be found in Cars that I saw was a homage, if you will, to Apple, as in like Apple computers and iPhone and all that good stuff. So Chick Hick, the character, he passes an all-white car that has the Apple logo on it. Now you may be saying to yourself, well, why would they be giving credit to Apple? Well, apparently Pixar used to be owned by Steve Jobs, and that would be why they put the Apple logo there. The numbers on the cars are also Easter eggs. So Chick Hick's number is 86, and that's no mistake because Pixar was formed in 1986. Now, Lightning McQueen's number is 95. And the reason why his number is 95 is because Toy Story came out in 1995. And again, most Pixar films stem back to their Easter eggs being from Toy Story, since Toy Story was their first big hit movie. If you pay attention, when Lightning McQueen is in the back of Mac's trailer on the way to the race in California before he gets dumped out, they pass by a sign that references how many miles it is to Andy's house. If you pay attention to the tires that are on Lightning McQueen, they are Lightyear tires. So think about it. That is a reference to Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. So one of the major sponsors that's in the movie Cars is Dinoco, which if you look, it is a little green dinosaur and it has to do with the gas station. Now, where else have we seen Dinoco before? It is the gas station that you can see in Toy Story when the truck from Pizza Planet stops to get gas. So this next one I thought was kind of neat and a little bit different, obviously, than our whole Toy Story references. And that is Fillmore, who's the Volkswagen minibus in the movie. He's voiced by George Carlin. Now, if you pay attention to his license plate, the number on the license plate is 51237. And that has meaning. That is actually George Carlin's birthday. So the final movie that I'm going to do for this video for Easter eggs is Frozen. I have a ton more Easter eggs for different Disney movies, but I'll get into those later. But anyway, for Frozen, Rapunzel and Flynn Rider from Tangled can be seen attending Elsa's coronation. So the next Easter egg that you can find actually stems back to Wreck-It Ralph. Now, if you're paying attention when Anna is eating the candy that she finds on the table that's set up, it is actually a candy that is found in the video game Sugar Rush, which can be found on Wreck-It Ralph. Disney is also famous, obviously, for its hidden Mickeys. You can find them all over the Disney parks when you go, and they can also be found in Disney movies. So if you pay attention, when Anna is in Oakens trying to get some stuff, you will actually see a Mickey that is hidden on a shelf. And the final Easter egg that I am going to talk about is actually another tribute to Tangled. So when Anna is singing her song for the first time in forever, one of the paintings that she goes by is actually a painting that can be found in Tangled. Okay, like I said, I think I've talked about enough Disney Easter eggs for one video. I will definitely be making at least another 2 or 3 from other Easter eggs that can be found in Disney movies, so look out for those. If you liked this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you want to be sure to see the other videos when they come out and other videos that I post, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Alright guys, that's it for today. I will see you next time. Bye!